We've got some breaking news in the real estate world, which is the fact that the interest rates have actually taken a pretty good nosedive in the recent weeks, and it's creating a buzz all around the real estate world here. But before we get caught up in all of the excitement, I want to share with you what it could really mean for you. But for those of you who do not know me yet, my name is Brock. I'm a real estate agent right here in San Antonio, Texas, and I help folks just like you buy and sell homes all over San Antonio and the surrounding areas. So whether you're looking to make a move in the next few days, or maybe it's in the next few months, please do not hesitate to reach out to me. All of my contact information is down below in the description for you, and I can't wait to hear from you, and more importantly, help you and your family make a smooth move right here in San Antonio. So with that out of the way, let's go ahead and get started on why these interest rates dropped. But before we actually get into it, I do want to share that the interest rates actually dropped to the lowest levels that we've seen in over a year. So they've been pretty high. A lot of people have been sitting on the sidelines and waiting for these rates to drop, and they've finally dropped with potentially more to come in the future. So why did they drop in the first place? Well, the Labor Department actually released their monthly jobs report, and it actually showed that the rate of hiring actually slowed down a little bit, and also there was an increase on unemployment rates to 4.3% in July. So both of these combined led to a lot of people having kind of a fear of an upcoming recession, or the fact that we may actually already be in one. So with that, there's a lot of expectations that the Federal Reserve is actually going to cut the interest rate come September of 2024. And so with that, the rates have already started to come down in preparation for those fears. So now that we know why they dropped, let's go ahead and take a look at what this could mean for you if you're looking to buy or sell a home in the upcoming months. Well, first start off with those of you who are looking to purchase a house. Well, for those of you in the current market here in San Antonio, we are seeing a lot of homes on the market currently for sale, meaning that you as a buyer have the upper hand in the ability to negotiate things like seller concessions, incentives, repairs, lower prices on homes, all of the fun stuff that everyone likes to negotiate as a buyer to help it make it easier for you to purchase a home. Right now in San Antonio, we are seeing a lot of that happening, whether it's an existing home or a new construction house. We are getting people incentives, lower prices, seller concessions, and all of that stuff to help cover closing costs. So it's really great right now in San Antonio if you are looking to purchase a house. But if these rates do continue to drop and go even lower than they are right now, we can expect to see a lot more people enter the market to buy a house. And I say this because if you look back at 2020, 2021, when rates went down to 3%, even 2% there, when it went to historic lows on the interest rates there, we saw a flood of people enter the market. And we all know from looking back at that time now that caused the prices of homes to increase pretty fast across all of the United States here. So with that, we can kind of expect to see more people enter the market. And I personally have heard from so many people that have said, hey, Brock, I really want to buy a house. However, I really am waiting for these interest rates to drop before it makes sense for me to do that. So I know there's a lot of people that have personally told me that. And I know there's a lot more people out there who have been wanting and waiting for these interest rates to drop before they buy a house. So there's a lot of pent up demand. There's a lot of people kind of sitting on the sidelines right now, waiting for these rates to drop, and when that does happen, they are ready to go buy a house. So if everyone sticks true to their word and is waiting for these rates to drop before they buy a house, we can expect to see a lot more people into the marketplace, meaning that the competition for every person is going to be much higher, and ultimately driving the prices of homes up even further than they already have been. So with this, the offers are going to get competitive. Incentives from home builders are going to dry up. You may not get all of your closing costs covered. You may not get repairs from existing homes covered in a lot of cases. So it really just makes it a lot harder for you to have an attractive offer on the buyer side of things and make it easier for you to help cover your closing costs, get those great incentives, lower your interest rates, whatever you're able to negotiate, and those sales contracts there. So that is what I'm thinking is going to happen if these interest rates drop. Again, this is just my opinion, and I'm not stating a fact. Of course, I don't have a crystal ball either to see what the future holds. That's just, again, my opinion. Now, if you are looking to sell in the house in the upcoming months, you might want to wait just a tad bit longer, because if these rates do drop, one, it's going to make it easier for you to purchase another house whenever you are ready to purchase. But also, if these prices of homes do go up because of all the competition and everything that I just shared, that means you're going to get a little bit more out of your house in the future than what you could possibly get for now. Of course, So basically what I'm trying to get at with this point here is just the fact that a lower interest rate is going to mean a higher competition and possibly higher prices in homes as well. All right, so now we know why the interest rates drop and what it could mean for the real estate market. But let's go ahead and cover a few questions you might want to ask yourself, just a few things to think about in preparation for what's to come, as well as the news that we now know of, right? The first question you might want to ask yourself here is now the right time for me to be buying a house? And if you want some more in-depth details about what I'm about to cover here, I do have a video already on the channel about the perfect time to buy a house. So you may want to go check that out. I'm going to dive a lot deeper in that video than I am here on that specific question. But really, it is just something you should ask yourself, hey, with these lower rates, the increase in competition, the higher prices, is this really something that I want to get involved with? Or do I want to maybe go ahead and take advantage of the lower prices of homes now, even though there is a higher interest rate attached to them with lower competition? Just ask yourself that, because if you want to enter that marketplace and buy when there's a lot of competition, you might get outbid several times. You might have to do some crazy stuff as far as shorter option periods, higher earnest money deposits. I don't know your personal situation, but if you do not want to deal with the increase in competition and the higher prices, lower incentives, or the less amount of things we can negotiate for in a contract, it may not be a good time for you to move. Whenever these rates do drop, you could potentially go ahead and take advantage of a lower house price now, even though the rates are higher, and move when there's less competition and you're able to get a great deal and negotiate all of those incentives. So if you want more help on figuring out if now is the right time to move, please go watch that video I mentioned, or feel free to reach out to me. I'd be more than happy to talk to you and help you make a decision, of course, on whether or not right now is a good time to be moving. The next question you want to ask yourself is, can you afford to move, right? There are a lot of moving expenses, and it's not cheap to be able to pack up all your stuff, rent a U-Haul, or pay someone to move your stuff. That is very expensive, especially with the way the economy has been. It is just something that is a big expense on moving. Not only that, when you do move, of course, you do have all the closing costs and everything else associated with purchasing a house. So there are a number of factors there to consider. So please keep that in mind as well whenever you're thinking about moving. And the last question you want to think about is, will you regret it, right? That is a big thing. I know a lot of people tend to have buyer's remorse on smaller purchases, and buying a house is probably one of the larger expenses that anyone is ever going to come across, and one of the largest purchases in their lifetime. So, are you going to regret purchasing a house that may be overpriced, or maybe you didn't get all of the good incentives? Yes, you got a lower rate, but maybe you didn't get all your closing costs covered, so now you're having to come out of pocket for additional closing costs that we just mentioned. There are a number of things to consider here on if the fact that you're going to regret it or not. Maybe you're moving into a less desirable area of town and paying a higher price for a home just because you wanted to take advantage of being able to buy a home with a lower interest rate. So with that being said, there are a number of things to consider and think about, right? Talk to your spouse or partner, whoever you're purchasing a house with. Make sure that you guys are all on the same page there and ready to go. But with that, I would like to know your opinion on the interest rates. Do you think they're going to drop, or do you think they're going to rise from here? Please drop a comment down below. Let me know which way you think the interest rates are going to go, whether they're going to drop or they're going to rise. But I would love for you to do that down below. Again, thank you for your time today. I greatly appreciate you watching this video. If you haven't already, please go ahead and like the video, give me that thumbs up. And while you're down there, please don't forget to hit that subscribe button and tap the bell icon as well, so that you'll be the first to learn about the current market right here in San Antonio, Texas, as well as see some beautiful home tours of some amazing homes all over the city here. You don't want to miss it, so please hit that subscribe button. And with that, thank you one last time. I hope you have an incredible day, and I can't wait to talk to you guys soon.